Good evening. Good evening. And like everybody else, I'm very, very, very excited to be here. I came across an email, Sound the Alarm, and much like several of the other speakers, it spoke to me, and so I reached out to Mr. Smith, and thank you for that. But welcome to Sound the Alarm. I'm going to give you a little bit about me and kind of what I'm going to talk about and hopefully what I can provide. I'm a detective for DFW Airport Police Department. I've been in law enforcement for 17 years and have a wealth of experiences. I built an entire career on drug and alcohol awareness. I've taught in schools and I teach at the police academies in Dallas and Fort Worth and here in Arlington. But as a detective, I've been trained to track criminals and crimes now through the internet and through a variety of technology and sources. And I use that technology to find those electronic footprints. And so some of those things and what I want to try to teach and deliver to people is those electronic footprints are left by your kids, by my kids, by our family and friends. And sometimes we need to go find where our kids have been, where they're going, where they're coming from, what doors they've opened, what doors they've closed. So I tell the story, and it's truly, my last name is Beagle. My wife and I have 6 kids together, and yes, we are the Beagle Bunch. We played the song at the wedding, the whole 9 yards. We are a blended family, and all 6 of them live at home. The youngest one's 10, the oldest one's 21. And so we have experienced the stuff like Josh has talked about. We have not Grace Prep, but we have 6 kids in 6 different schools, and one of our 13-year-olds was exposed to internet and internet pornography at a Christian school in the bathroom. That was his first exposure at 13 years old. It's out there, and so Dad, the detective, finds out, does some things with the phone, a little auditing, and lo and behold, I kind of uncover a little bit of where he had at least ventured into. And then, of course, we were able to kind of stop that, to at least open his eyes to the dangers of what that path and where Satan was taking him in that particular road. But tonight I want to try to equip you with some tools, some things, some ideas, some philosophies, from a book that I've been reading. The author's name is Mark Matlock, and the title is Raising Wise Children. And certainly I'm not here to advocate any specific technology programs or books or those kind of things, just like Josh, because what works for me and my wife, it's not going to work for everybody. But he says a few interesting things. Our goal as real-world parents is to keep having the conversation with our kids about the stories of our lives and the choices we make, and that they fit into God's story. We must abandon the goals of perfect obedience and untainted innocence and begin to equip our children to see their place in God's family, their need for His grace, and their opportunity to embrace His mission. And I think that speaks volumes to what we're all trying to provide as we go forward. But as a parent of 6, I do understand the dangers, and I also understand that it's not my child. This family's not capable, because whether you're the preacher's son or you're the detective's son or daughter, certainly you are subject to those same pitfalls and dangers that are out there around the internet. Just a few years ago, I can remember teaching, and one of the big things was drug and alcohol awareness. We want to teach our kids about drugs and alcohol, and we had the big heroin overdoses in Plano in the schools and all that thing. And so we have advocated and we've talked to our kids, and drugs have been a big passion, especially from the law enforcement community, but the prom, and we do the every 60 seconds things and try to really bring awareness and attention to those problems. But we would never consider letting our child go down and hang out on the street corner with drug dealers. But sometimes we would be okay with letting our kids go in their room by themselves with a computer or a laptop or a handheld. And I feel that it is just as dangerous as letting them go outside sometimes in those environments. So again, think about just one particular, we've all seen it, we've talked about it, we've said the word pornography, porn. There's a website, it's called YouPorn, just like YouTube, only different. How easy is that for a 10-year-old to find? That's why they do it. They're out there. There's nothing that's going to stop everything. There's no magic key. There's not a door you can shut. There's really nothing that you can do that's going to stop it all. But there are some things that we can talk about, that we can go over, that you can educate yourselves. Do some research. I mean, I'm a hillbilly from Johnson County, just south of here. I kind of figured it out. So anybody can figure it out, I promise. When these kids at 10 years old, and there's a great illustration about the driving, that 10-year-old, when he sees that picture, or he goes looking for that Viagra commercial or whatever it is, and he sees something, there's no way to unsee that. It's there forever. It's burned as into their mind. You can't push delete. Backspace doesn't work. Closing the door doesn't make it go away. The only thing is asking for God's grace. But we have to be there. We have to be there to help them through those dark places and those detours of life. Our goal as parents is not to parent perfectly, because number one, it's not possible. Okay, it's not possible to parent perfectly. And number two, honestly, it's too late. What we can do is to try from this point forward to get to a point where we have the communication, we have the relationship. And part of the session, I break out, I talk about the word care, is we communicate with our kids. We pay attention to what they're doing. Okay, we research, we want to know what they're doing. And then we educate not only ourselves, but we educate them. And that is my goal, is to care, communicate, pay attention, research, and educate. So again, thank you so much for being here. I've learned a lot. I appreciate Grace in this event. I think this should be done in every public school. I think it should be done in every Christian school, because again, I know these four people, it's a passion to them, and I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it. So I hope you have a great evening. You learn a lot, and I look forward to seeing you all in the future.